Hello and welcome to your in-depth weekly horoscope for week commencing the 22nd of August for the Sun or the Ascendant. As ever, I'm going to give you the broad strands to look out for, but please stay with me. I will then dive deep to give you in forensic detail each of the 12 zodiac signs from Aries through to Pisces. Now, as this week begins, Mercury, the ruler of the sign of Virgo, is forging a tremendous angle to Pluto. So there's a sense that the analysis that Mercury in Virgo provides at the best of times is heightened even more by this combination. Now the Sun on Tuesday also powers into Virgo. So a very Virgoan energy is starting to develop. Some may call this Virgo season. So what is the sign of Virgo about? It's the sixth zodiac sign. It's ruled by Mercury, of course. It is an earth sign, but also it's mutable in terms of its quality. So very much to do with flexing. But it's asking us to use our precision and discrimination to get some of the finer details of our situations working that much more efficiently. And that can be something that can give us a great deal of pleasure. It may not sound very sexy, but actually, if the main parts of our world are running in a well-ordered way, that frees up energy. And of course, the sign of Virgo is about health as well as virtue. So we have an opportunity over the next 5 weeks to really take these areas a lot more seriously, particularly as there is a Virgo new moon on Saturday, which is going to be particularly influential because it's squaring up to the mighty Mars in the sign of Gemini. Also, Mars is forging an exuberant link with Jupiter this week, which can give us a lot more desire to live in the moment. But the clash between Mars and the new moon suggests we shouldn't try too hard to be too perfect, to try to strip out too many parts of our existence which may be a little bit indulgent. It's about finding a nice balance. But also this week, Uranus slams on the brakes, the last of the higher octave planets to do so, and will be in retrograde through to the 22nd of January next year. But there's a T-square later this week between Saturn, Uranus and Venus. And in fact, Venus and Saturn are going to be exactly opposite one another. So any relationship where one partner tends to be quite sacrificing and hardworking, particularly on the domestic front, and the other person tends to be a bit more focused on their own needs, that could cause some frostiness, frosty relations as this week draws to a close. But also on Friday, Mercury moves into the sign of Libra. So whatever happens this week, however much we're trying to reform certain areas of our life, whether it's to do with decluttering, clearing out drawers, recycling stuff that we don't need anymore, perhaps getting a bit fitter, looking at what we're eating and seeing if we can make some improvements, perhaps considering some physical health treatments such as massage or aromatherapy. All that virtue is going to be tested by that T-square that involves Saturn. So when Mercury moves into Libra at the end of this week, important to listen, because I do think a bit more of a critical vibe is going to start to develop as this week draws to a close. Please stay with me for your in-depth forecast, but if you are wanting to ascend above zodiac astrology, if you give me 3 pieces of personal birth data of time, date and place, I can give you a roadmap that can guide you for the rest of your life. This can help you to understand some of the difficult patterns that may have come up over the years, but also highlight the opportunities that maybe you can embrace a bit tighter. But also with this, you will get a forecast as well, and 30% off with my special offer. Now you can get the rest of this year free, as well as the whole of year 2023 within this forecast, please see the link below. Now, if you've yet to subscribe to my channel, I'd be grateful if you did so now. If you have already, thank you so much. So Cancer, your week commencing the 22nd of August forecast really is exciting, to be honest, because the sun moving into your third house is going to see a speeding up, and that's going to bring a lot of excitement into your situation. Your mind's going to be buzzing with different possibilities, and because Mercury in Virgo initially this week is linking so well to Pluto, there could be an exchange between you and another person which really is crystal clear and brings you a great deal of self-validation. The connection could be around an idea or a belief system or a concept which really does give you some uplift. Now, of course, Venus, the planet of love and affection, has been in a very fortuitous part of your scope of late, the second house, and that continues this week. But it is blocked at the end of this week by Saturn, and the Uranus North Node conjunction T-squares the pair of them. Now they're in the part of your scope to do with your ideals. So when it comes to money and the people you link with, just be aware that as the week goes on, the earlier connection, which is so pleasing, could make way for a bit of frustration. You may encounter some people who see things very differently to you. Now, of course, Jupiter is high in the sky for you, and that can be very lucky as far as your career is concerned. So if there are jobs that are really interesting you, then do get those applications in. It's just that the Jupiter-Mars angle is one of the most galvanizing that there is in astrology, but Mars is in that 12th house, which can be quite tricky. If a job is behind the scenes or in a big institution, it may be absolutely perfect for you. But by the time we get that new moon on Saturday, it is clashing with Mars. So for you, the third house is competing with the 12th house. So over the next 4 weeks, there could be some conversations that occur that could be a little bit unsettling. Maybe you're going to open up and share how you feel about some old wounds or resentments that have been simmering away and may need ventilating. But then again, there may be something that you felt you dealt with long ago that suddenly can grip your mind and emotions in a way which can absolutely surprise you. And you could blurt something out that you didn't really feel was that active. The other thing that can happen with the 12th third house angle is that someone can see you in a very different way to you, and perhaps also your motives, and therefore it could be somebody else that speaks out in a surprising way to you. So that is possible from this week's new moon and the following energy from that. But generally speaking, the new moon in the third house is a great opportunity to think about your modes of transport, how much physical exercise you get, study, sharing ideas, technology. All these things can bring a lot of excitement into play. But on Friday, it is the case that Mercury just gives you an opportunity to catch your breath amongst all this excitement, because it just is nestling in the sign of Libra there, which for you is house 4, very much in keeping with the energies of your own sign. So all this excitement that's buzzing around you, but if you do need to just take a moment to think about what this all means, Mercury gives you the opportunity as this week draws to a close.